Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a really fun one lined up for you. We're going to be diving into a genuinely magical story called Oliver and the Quest for Star Balloon Island. It's this beautiful, super imaginative adventure all about exploration, friendship, and, the literal power of kindness.
But before we get into the nuts and bolts of the plot, let me ask you something. Have you ever just looked up at the sky and dreamed of flying high above the clouds? I think pretty much all of us can relate to that pure childhood sense of wonder, right? That deep yearning for adventure and discovery. Well, that's the absolute core emotional anchor of our story today. It grounds all the fantastical, magical stuff we're about to explore in a very real, deeply relatable human emotion.
So let's meet our protagonist. This is Oliver. He's a really cheerful little boy living in the sunny town of Brightville. Now, his defining characteristic, the one thing you absolutely need to know about him, is that he literally loves the annual balloon festival. Like, he loves balloons more than anything else in the world, and he spends his days just dreaming of the sky. It's a simple, super pure passion. But, as you might guess, his ordinary sunny world in Brightville is about to get turned completely upside down.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The golden balloon appears. Every great story has that exact moment where the normal world is just left behind. On an otherwise quiet evening, while he's out watching the stars twinkle, Oliver spots something strange. Floating down from the night sky is a glowing golden balloon, and it gently lands right beside him. Attached to it is this tiny note that just says, "Adventure awaits. Hold tight." And before Oliver can even blink or process what is actually happening, this golden balloon starts growing. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until, whoosh! Almost like magic, Oliver is suddenly lifted straight up into the sky.
Which brings us to Section 2, a magical floating island.
High above the clouds, Oliver's sudden, crazy ascent drops him into a breathtaking new location called Star Balloon Island. Picture this, a magical world that floats entirely among the stars, absolutely packed with vibrant, colorful balloon trees, sparkling rivers, and these majestic floating castles. It's wild. But this isn't just a sightseeing tour. As soon as he arrives, Oliver meets a friendly star fairy named Nova, and her greeting carries a ton of weight. She says, "Welcome, Oliver, but we need your help." In just a few words, the whole vibe shifts. The island's magic is in real danger, instantly turning this story into a high-stakes rescue mission. So the crucial point is how this island actually survives. Nova urgently explains to Oliver that the Great Star Balloon, which is literally the very thing keeping the entire island floating safely in the sky, has lost its magical star gem. And without that star gem, the Great Star Balloon is going to fail completely, and this beautiful, sparkling island will just drift away into absolute darkness. So yeah, the stakes literally could not be higher for Nova and her home. All right, moving right along. Section 3, the quest and new friends.
Faced with this totally dire situation, Oliver steps up. He bravely agrees to help Nova, setting off on this thrilling quest to save Star Balloon Island. But hey, no hero has to tackle challenges entirely alone, right? Following a magical trail of glowing stardust, Oliver gathers this wonderfully unique crew of companions. Get a load of this team: Poppy the Balloon Panda, Skylar the Rainbow Parrot, and Bubbles the Flying Puppy. They all band together, bringing their own special magic and joy to the massive journey ahead.
Let's move on and see how this builds, because the journey itself becomes this incredible sequence of magical exploration. First off, they have to carefully cross these super delicate bubble bridges. Next up, they find themselves exploring deep, vast cloud canyons. And finally, they are literally sailing on floating balloon boats. It's a highly imaginative, step-by-step adventure through these wondrous lands, and it eventually leads them right to their final destination, the imposing castle of shooting stars. And here is where things get really interesting. Section 4, Confronting Comet the Dragon. Deep inside the castle of shooting stars, the tension completely peaks. The group is searching the castle, and they finally locate the missing star gem. Now, naturally, our expectation here is that they're about to face off against some malicious thief who stole the gem to purposefully destroy the island. But the reality is completely different. They don't find a villain at all. Instead, they find a lonely little dragon named Comet who is actually just keeping it safe. It is such a brilliant narrative twist that completely flips the story on its head. Comet looks at the group looking just incredibly sad, and he explains, "I found the gem and kept it because I wanted someone to play with." Wow, it's so touching. And hearing this, Oliver doesn't get angry at all. He just smiles kindly and tells the dragon, "You don't have to be alone." Then, Poppy the Balloon Panda steps right up, gives Comet a giant hug and says, "We'll be your friends." Skylar and Bubbles happily agree, instantly offering this lonely little dragon the exact connection he'd been craving.
Which sets us up perfectly for Section 5, Returning the Star Gem.
With his heart finally full, Comet's eyes absolutely sparkle with joy. The whole conflict is resolved, not with some huge battle, but with genuine compassion. Now united as an even larger group, they grab the star gem and head straight back to restore the island's magic. First, they successfully return the star gem to the great star balloon, and instantly there is this giant golden boom of light. Thousands of colorful balloons just explode among the stars, and the island is glowing brighter than it ever has before. Everyone celebrates with a giant balloon parade. And then, the very next morning, Oliver wakes up. He's back in his own bedroom in Brightville. For a split second, he kind of wonders, was it all just a dream? But then, he spots a tiny golden balloon tied right to his bedpost. He smiles. The amazing adventure had been totally real after all.
And that brings us to our final takeaway. Section 6, the moral of the adventure. As the dust settles on this fantastic journey, we really need to look at the underlying message of the whole story. That tiny golden balloon on his bedpost? Sure, it's a wonderful souvenir, but the true treasure Oliver brought back is profound. Friendship lifts us higher than any balloon, and sharing kindness makes every adventure more magical. You see, it wasn't physical strength or some crazy magic spell that saved Star Balloon Island. It was Oliver's simple, genuine act of kindness toward a lonely little dragon. By extending friendship instead of fighting, they literally saved an entire world from drifting into darkness.
So this leaves us with a pretty powerful question. How can you share kindness in your own life to make someone else's adventure magical today? It's a really beautiful thought to carry with you. Just like Oliver, a small gesture of friendship or understanding might be exactly what someone else needs to keep their world shining bright. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope you enjoyed discovering this story with us, and I hope you bring a little bit of that stardust into your everyday life.
For more interesting videos, subscribe our YouTube channel